The moon landing almost ended in an alarm, not a siren in a movie. A number on a small computer display inside the Lunar Module, 122. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin were already descending toward the moon. Below them was gray terrain no human had ever touched. Above them was black space. And in the middle of the most watched mission in history, the guidance computer was saying something was wrong. To the world, Apollo 11 would later look clean and inevitable. A rocket, a landing, a footprint. But inside Eagle, the final minutes were crowded with numbers, voices, and decisions that had to move faster than fear. The Apollo guidance computer had not simply died. It was overloaded. The rendezvous radar configuration added work the computer did not need during landing. The system began throwing program alarms. First 1202, then 1001. Those codes meant the computer was running out of time to finish every task. But the software had a strange kind of strength. It could drop lower priority work and keep the guidance tasks alive. In other words, it was failing in the right order. Armstrong asked Houston for a reading on the alarm. In mission control, the question moved through a narrow chain. Computer specialists, guidance controllers, the flight director, and the voice back to the crew. Abort, continue. The answer came quickly. Go. That word did not mean everything was fine. It meant the alarm was understood well enough to keep descending. Then the moon created a second problem. Armstrong could see that the automatic landing path was taking Eagle toward rough ground, near rocks and a crater field. The computer alarms had not ended the landing. But now, the planned landing site was no longer safe. So Armstrong took more control. He flew the lunar module forward, searching for a flatter place while Aldrin called out data and Houston watched the fuel margin shrink. The famous fuel calls were real, but they are often simplified. They were not a countdown to the exact last seconds of engine life. Post-mission estimates suggest Eagle touched down with about 45 seconds of fuel remaining. Still, in that cockpit, there was no extra time to waste. Then, the dust rose. Contact light. Engine stop. And the voice came back to Earth. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Apollo 11 was not saved by perfect technology. It was saved by a machine that protected what mattered, and by people who knew when not to panic. History remembers the footprint, but the real story was the alarm that almost stopped it.